Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another thrilling episode of the Otakuology podcast. I'm Mike here with Jen, and we have a very, very special guest for you guys today. We have Gabe, creator of the
I
manga
almost said it.
book club.
I almost said it.
Oh, you almost said it? Okay.
Yeah, I almost went. You went Gabe. I went the babe.
Yeah.
We have Gabe here. What would you call yourself, Gabe?
A content creator, creative director of the TikTok Manga Book Club.
Okay, yeah. TikTok manga book club. You guys are like a group on TikTok, correct?
Yeah. So
from what I gathered,
Yes. So it's a group of about 50 members, and we make content for TikTok. We do manga reviews, we do genre reviews, and at its current moment, we haven't posted a ton of content just because everyone in the group is 18 plus. So we're all, thriving adults in our everyday lives. And as you know, being adults can be, as you say, difficult.
Yeah.
So
most definitely.
Trying to get together, 3 or 4 people who are all not busy on the same day to send in videos and then say, oh, hey, can you go ahead and try to do this instead of that? It can be a little difficult. But at its current moment, we're just kind of just hanging out in Discord and just talking about anime and manga and, so.
How long did it take you to amass that many people in the manga book club?
So I started the official book club in February of this year.
Oh.
And so it started out as just like I had a ton of people who I thought were really cool on TikTok follow me, and I was like, "Oh my god, I love your content. You guys are really nice." And then I was like, "Do you guys want to be in a group together?" And it's basically like a hype house for manga on TikTok,
Yeah, that was actually one of my questions is how did you get the creators to join you in this? And what was your pitch to them? Did you have like a pitch?
What are you talking about? He's a babe.
Yeah, I just looked at them and they said, I'll go with you anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You're like Luffy.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, follow me. I've got a crazy idea, but just trust me.
Exactly.
So it started out. I'll give you like the rundown of like how the manga book club came to be. I still remember to this day I was driving and I was like, man, I remember like seeing all of these really cool creators on my like For You page, and then all of a sudden I'd like it, I'd comment, and then they'd follow me, and I was like, are they okay? Like, I don't really post a whole lot of content. I don't think it's very great. I'm just like, kicking the bucket around here. But they started following me, and immediately I was like, you're telling me I can just talk to them now? So I'd message them, and we just started talking, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. So then when I was driving, I was like, man, I really wish that my friends that I have right now could be friends with my other friends on TikTok, because they don't know each other.
Yeah.
They only know me. So I was like, what if I had a group of people that like all could just read manga together? Yeah. And I was like, well, what if we could like help each other out, like finding new recommendations, or what if we're looking for certain manga and someone else had it in another state? We could send each other manga. And I was like, the coolest thing is there's nothing on TikTok right now that is like a group of really cool creators and really talented creators that do reviews on mangas. There are individuals that do that. And they have great content. I mean, there are a couple of people that I watch and I'm like, wow, it's amazing,
Yeah.
A lot of editing work, a lot of lighting, a lot of technical stuff, but there wasn't anything that fit that mold and that space of having a bunch of different creators all come together and all talk about one subject that they were passionate and that they enjoyed,
No, like I totally get you, because it's kind of like so Jen and I come from the world of MangaTube, which is manga YouTube.
Yeah,
and we kind of stumbled upon the manga TikTok as we're trying to promote our podcast and whatnot. But it seems like the manga stuff on TikTok is very similar to what you find on YouTube. You got like your group of people together, you talk and whatnot. It's kind of it seems like it intertwines a little bit. But what benefits do you think TikTok gives that say like a YouTube doesn't give for like promoting and talking about manga?
Oh yeah, it's for sure the short content. You know, I if a TikTok doesn't capture my attention within the first 3 seconds, I skip it. You know what I mean? But if your content is good and it's consistent, um, people will stop and they'll watch all of it. You know, I've looked over my analytics and I've seen like the amount of time that people watch, and it's usually right about 70 to 80% for my TikTok, which I usually do like full size like length. Like when it was just a minute, I would do a full minute of content, you know, and if people are watching 70-80%, it's a lot of content that they're getting, especially on TikTok. But with YouTube, you have to sit down, you got to stop what you're doing, and you've got to watch that video and listen to it for 20-30 minutes, you know. And while it's still really good content, you know, you put a lot of time into it, you edit it, you upload it and everything like that, it's great content. But today's generation does not care about, you know, this long content, not as much as they would with the shorter content, you know.
Right.
So that's probably like the best benefit that I've seen on TikTok. But I would say if you're consistent and you can grow on YouTube, I think YouTube it's getting a little better than TikTok, especially financially.
So speaking of the financial situation, what are you guys monetized on TikTok at the moment? Like your group, and like how do you guys split that?
So we're monetized on TikTok right now, but I don't take any of it out because it's not it's nothing. I could buy one manga with the amount of money that you know what I mean? So I might as well just leave it there. There's no use.
What is the monetary value for each view, and like the time people have to watch your videos? Like what does that accumulate to?
So I don't know the exact amount because they don't really tell you any of that information. They just like pop it up and like, guess what? You got 12 cents from this video, you know? One of my most popular videos was a BL recommendation. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm just going to pull up my analytics real quick. I think it got somewhere around like 100,000 views or something like that. It had to be more than that. Let's see. It was 163,000 views. It was and 1.2 thousand shares, 57.8 thousand likes, and 772 comments. That video amassed, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around like $4.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's really not worth it. But you know, if I'm gonna be doing it, I might as well just, you know, get a couple cents out of it.
Yeah.
Because you know, time is money. That's what I always say.
That's true. That's true. That's what I told Mike. I said, I've gotten to the point in life where, you know, if people want to sit and ever like trash talk you or anything, I'm like, they can do it. I said, I'm not going to say anything about it because that's a waste of my time. But I said, if they want to pay me about it, I will definitely, definitely start something.
Yeah. And you know, the thing is like, at the core of everything, I'm a businessman, you know, I'm a salesman by trade. And so whenever I come up with like any idea, I'm like, maybe in the future, this would like benefit me money wise, you know?
Right.
You know, I've had one company reach out and, they were like, hey, we really want to sponsor you and we want to do all this stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, oh my God. I'd love to work with you. I shop with you all the time, you know, yada, yada. And so I proposed an email, and the proposal was, we'll make content for you on our page every day for like a week or like for a month, whatever. And each person will go to said store and, you know, record them buying manga and talking about hauls and like why you guys have the best selection and so on and so forth. I said, but the only way that we're going to be able to do this consistently is if you provide us with funds. So I said, I think at the time, let me do the math real quick because I can't remember off the top of my head. It was, at the time I had 40 members in the manga book club. And so I was like, if you guys give us $75 gift cards per 40 members, every time someone would make a video, I would give them a gift card to said store. And so I was like, if you give us $3,000, we'll make content for you for an entire month. And then each member will be able to receive manga. You know, they'll be able to buy manga, which everyone in the manga book club loves buying manga, especially if they don't have to pay for it out of pocket.
You'll get true?
Yeah, you'll get content for your page because nobody knows you're on TikTok, and more people will shop with you, you know?
Right.
So, but after that, they're like, okay, sounds like a plan, and we'll email you back. And I was like, all right, cool. And to this day, they have yet to reply to me.
Oh, wow.
After they saw it, they were like, $3,000. No, we're okay. We're fine. But it's crazy because I know for a fact that they'd be able to afford it, but it's besides the point.
So is it a publisher or a distributor?
It's a store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Is it Barnes and Noble?
Oh God, Barnes and Noble doesn't work with anybody for any reason whatsoever. They're too bougie.
Is it Books A Million?
Cough.
Okay.
those
are the only two main bookstores that I know.
Yeah.
Goodness.
I messaged or I emailed him and I was like, hey, just wanted to follow up with you as per our last email. You know the saying. And
it's been 1 month.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, we're still discussing it with our internal team," and I was like, "I don't think it takes 3 months to talk about it with an internal team. Just show them the email and say yes or no." You know.
Well, I mean, they don't even have to do that. They just say, "Hey, you send us the addresses. We'll send you all the manga."
Yeah, exactly.
Like, not even cut money into it. Just say, "We'll send you the manga."
Yeah, you know, we were able to work with one company. It's called Newberry Comics, and they're a local, essentially like a local store based out of New Jersey, and their main profit margins are records and manga.
Okay,
you know, so they do a lot of stuff on Instagram regarding like records and vinyl and things like that, and on TikTok they do more towards manga / vinyl.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'd built a pretty good relationship with them, and I got on a call with him one day, and I was talking to him. His name's Carl. He's the rep for them, and he was like, "Hey, listen, you know, any ideas that you have, because we're just starting out on TikTok, let us know, because I'm pretty solid with, you know, coming up with content ideas for TikTok, because I know what works and I know what doesn't." And I was like, all right, well, the thing that people love is, you know, going behind the scenes and realizing that your company is a real person. Like it's a group of real people. It's not just like this company brand name. You know? Like if you think of, I know it's a little off the wall, but if you think of Walmart is like this super entity, right? Yeah, but if you see this little local owned bookstore and you see Mr. Joe and Miss Sally, you're like, oh my God, you've been working here for a really long time and this is like your livelihood. This is really cool. I want to support local, you know? And so I was like, you know, Carl, I really want to do a giveaway, but I don't have the money. And he was like, oh, don't worry. You can use my bank account. Like you can use Newberry Comics bank account. And I was like, okay, then. Yeah.
What?
Say less, Carl.
Yeah.
So what did you end up giving away?
So it was Pride Month, and so we decided to do a Pride Month giveaway. So he sent us Whisper Me a Love Song, which is a GL. Strawberry Fields once again, which is a GL. Blue Flag, which is a BL. And then Bloom Into You, which is a GL. I'd sent him like a list of manga. I was like, hey, if you have this in stock, go ahead and send it to me. And he was like, I don't have these, but I've got these. And I was like, works for me. And he sent it out to me.
Awesome.
I recorded a video and then posted the video. I was like, all right, guys, all you got to do is like, comment, share. You know, make sure you're following us and Newberry Comics. And then once that goes through, I'll put it in like a comment picker, and then I'll pick the names out and DM you. Okay. Yeah.
So
awesome.
After you did that, did you get like a flood of follows? Because like when I would like give something away on like YouTube, I'll get like a ton of subscribers, and then I'll lose all the subscribers.
Yeah.
Because they didn't win.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's a little different on YouTube than TikTok, because I would say that a lot of people on TikTok tend to have ADHD. You know what I mean? So like when you follow someone, after you follow them, if you might never see their content again, and you completely forget that you had followed them. But on YouTube, it'll notify you. It'll be like, hey, they posted a video, and you're like, oh God, I don't really want to get these notifications anymore. Unsubscribe.
Right.
But I would say every time I post a video on the Manga Book Club page, I tend to get about the same amount of followers.
Okay.
It doesn't really depend on like what it's about. So I think it was strange when I posted my very first video, I got 10,000 followers in like 2 days.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
It blew me away. I was like, all right, maybe it's just the first video, maybe TikTok's just really pushing this to the For You page. And then I posted our second one about 2 or 3 days later, and it was a romance recommendation. And again, that one pushed us up another 10,000 followers. And I was like, oh my God, I'm a genius.
Right. Does it have something to do with like the algorithm or like?
Yeah. So I've learned at the core of things, if your video doesn't do well, I don't want to say it's not TikTok's fault, but if it doesn't do well, the video just sucks. Because how the TikTok algorithm works is that, imagine you post a video, and that video will go to, at a very small scale, 5 people. If those 5 people, depending on how they interact with it, whether they like it, they comment, they share, how long they watch, so on and so forth, do they save it, do they not save it, do they duet, or anything of that sort, depending on that will depend on if the algorithm sends it to another set of people, but a larger group, So if the first 5 people like it, then it'll send it to 10 people. And then if 5 people out of the 10 like it, it'll send it to 7 people, and so on and so forth.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if your video does well on TikTok, it's just a good video. But if it dies out at like 300 or 400 views and like 20 likes and 3 comments, then the video just sucked and people weren't interacting with it.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I didn't, like my personal channel is like an inspiration one. Like, there's people that follow me, and I'm like, I haven't put out a video in like 2 months.
Yeah.
Why are you following me? I guess it's just the old stuff.
I know exactly how you feel, because on the Manga Book Club page, I haven't posted anything in probably like a month or so, and I'm starting to ramp up again, and I've got some things in the vault right now that I'm working on, and people still follow the page. I mean, I'm still getting, I'd probably say about 20 or 30 followers every day, because most of my videos are still coming up on For You pages.
Yeah, they show up on mine a lot.
Good. I'm doing something right.
The real question is, are you watching it the whole time?
Maybe I'm gonna be honest. Depending on the subject matter, I will.
Maybe you should start duetting it.
Oh,
yeah. And what's crazy is one of my favorite videos on that page, on the Manga Book Club page, it's my horror recommendation video. And it probably did the absolute worst out of everything.
Yeah.
Which it blows me away, because I was really excited about it. The premise of the idea was like the Twilight Zone, because we had never done a horror recommendation, but a lot of people were like, "What's a horror manga I can read?" And I was like, "If you haven't heard of Junji Ito, you're wrong."
Oh no!
But
oh man,
yeah. So I told him, I was like, "All right, this is how I want the video. Imagine you're watching the Twilight Zone, and you're zooming in slowly, and then as you say, 'Welcome to the Manga Book Club,' it transitions into like art panels of like Junji Ito's work." And
that sounds cool.
Yeah, and then talking about like the premise of the story and why you should pick it up, and then yada yada. So we did it, we executed it, and the girl who did it is a really good friend of mine. Her name's Katie, and she sent it to me, and I was like, "Katie, this is an utter masterpiece. Like, this is really, really cool."
Yeah.
I uploaded it. I got like 1,300 views and like 10 comments, and then I was like, "Wow, what a flop!" Compared to my first 2 videos that did like 100 plus thousand views. You know?
I mean, think about it though, is you're proud of what you created though.
Oh yeah. To this day, I still look at all of my content and I'm like, that's still my favorite. I don't care what anyone says.
Because I have like videos on my channel that like I could care less about, and they've like blown up. And like all the ones that I love are like the little videos, you know.
Oh yeah. It's funny. I made a video on my personal page. I've been doing more videos as of recent on my personal page. That I'll literally just be laying in bed and record a video from like, you know, the two different cut and paste sides.
Yeah.
And it'll blow up. I mean, I'm like, why? what
Right.
why do you enjoy this? You know, but I think it's funny. So
Yeah.
It's true though. I mean, you know, that stuff happens. I mean, I think one of my favorite videos that I like on our page is the one where, you know, they try and get like girls to like jump so that their boobs shake.
yeah.
And so like I sat there and I hate it whenever I'm watching the same video and like it's people after people doing the same thing. Like I just hate it. So I'm sitting there talking to Mike. I go, Mike, I said, I think you should do this. And then I get a notification pop up that goes, there's a new video. And Mike had done it. And I was like, oh shit, what did I do? That one, like, I'll still show people that one.
I have
like,
no problem making a fool of myself on the internet.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's funny too, because I mean, your face in it is like, oh, I'm like really enjoying this, even though like, you know, it was weird. Like you're like, oh, I enjoyed doing that video. You know, you could see it on your face.
But I wanted to get into talking about a little bit about you more. Sure. How did you? Yeah. This is a very generic question, but how did you get into the world of manga yourself? How did you start your journey?
Oh yeah, so you know, it's 2020. Mm-hmm. It's prime COVID time. I'm not saying that COVID's gone away or anything. It's still relevant, but it's like right at the forefront of everyone's mind. Toilet paper is sold out. You know, anime is being delayed because of studios are having to go home and they can't work on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I guess I'll just watch all the anime that haven't watched yet. So I watched all of it. And then I was like, all right, when's the next season of so-and-so come out? And they were like, well, it's been delayed. It's on hiatus until we can figure out this COVID situation. I was like, what am I going to do? Like, I've got nothing.
Oh, no.
So I had watched, if you've ever heard of Rent-A-Girlfriend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of Rent-A-Girlfriend. And I had watched the anime and I was like, this was really good. You know, I really enjoyed this. And I was like, but what happens next?
Yeah.
So I looked up, I got on Reddit and I got on the Rent-A-Girlfriend Reddit page and I was like, hey guys, you know, I just finished Rent-A-Girlfriend. Where does the manga pick up? And they're like volume 7. And I was like, oh, easy. Okay. I'm going to head over to Books A Million real quick. Cause I live in Florida and in Florida, they don't care jack squat about closing down businesses. So
yeah, right.
I put my mask on, rolled over to Books A Million, and I was like, hey, do you guys have the manga Rent-A-Girlfriend volume 7? And this was back in like October, November of 2020.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh yeah, Rent-A-Girlfriend volume 7 comes out July 20th, 2021.
Yeah.
And I was like, that can't be. The anime just what? So at that moment I was like, well, I'm already here. Let me just take a look around. I've never even looked at the manga section. I've known about manga because I've been watching anime since I was a child, like, you know, 5-6 years old. And so I walked around and I was like, this is a big old manga section. I didn't even know that a lot of these were manga, you know? So I'm looking around and I saw The Promised Neverland and I saw Demon Slayer.
Oh.
And those two, they were far enough that they were way past the manga or way past the anime. And there was enough content there for me to like gorge on it, you know?
Right.
So I I asked myself, what am I more excited about? Like what season got me more excited for the second season? And so I asked Promised Neverland or Demon Slayer, and ultimately I ended up going with Promised Neverland. While don't get me wrong, I'm a massive Demon Slayer fan. It's just the season 1 of Promised Neverland got me a little more excited. I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen to those kids? You know?
Right.
So I picked up the volume, I think it was like volume 6 and 7, because that was like after the anime. And I went home and I read them in like 45 minutes, both volumes. And I was like, "They're what?"
I'm going back to the store.
You're like, I gotta go back to the store.
Did I really just spend $20 for 40 minutes of my time?
Right.
I was like, I can't afford this. So I went back and I was like, I looked at a couple of them and I was just, I can't afford these. So I went home and I started looking up like manga apps that I could read manga on.
Oh,
Right.
And so I found the Viz Media app.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, you can read The Promised Neverland and Demon Slayer for $2 a month.
Yep.
And I was like, you ain't got to tell me twice. So I sat down.
Right, bet.
Let's go. So I ended up reading all of The Promised Neverland.
Did it cut you off at 100 chapters?
Oh no, the manga was finished.
Okay, because usually with the Viz app, if you read like the limit, you can read in like I think a day is like 100 chapters.
Oh my god!
Of any manga, like, and like they cut you off and you have to wait like a couple days.
I would be so pissed if they did that to me. I would be absolutely livid. I mean,
like,
maybe.
And then I'm like,
my $2 back.
Who can read 100 chapters in a day?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I probably read like 60 or 70 a day, and then I guess that's why I never figured out that it cut you off after 100 chapters because I'm not strong enough.
I don't know. I mean, 100 chapters is about 10 books, so
yeah. So
yes, but we're all adults. We have jobs,
Yeah, that's another thing is that I can't sit on my. I mean, on Sundays are my lazy days. So that's fine for me. But so after I read that, I went online and I discovered what scanlations were, and so that's when I read Rent a Girlfriend up to its current chapter, and then after that I started reading Demon Slayer digitally, and then that's what really sealed the deal. So
you're like now I'm trapped in this.
Now I'm trapped and I can't ever go back.
I can't leave.
But what really sealed it was on anime TikTok or on manga TikTok. Someone had said this was in November, like the mid-November. They said, "Hey, Books A Million has this buy two get one free sale on manga. Go out there and buy it." And I was like,
"It lasts like a month or something like that."
It was a long time.
Yeah.
So I went out there, and it was for the holiday season. So I went out there, and I was looking, and I was like, well, what's a manga series that just came out and that I could essentially start my journey of collecting manga with? And so I'm looking around, and I look over, and I see Jujutsu Kaisen, and I'm like, didn't this anime literally just come out? Like episode 1 had just released.
Yeah.
And so I looked, and I saw like 6 volumes, and I was like, oh, perfect. I buy 3. I buy another 3. 2 of them are free and I'm only paying $40 for them,
Yeah.
Right.
So I ended up getting volumes. They didn't have volume 2 in stock, but this was the time where nobody really knew about Jujutsu Kaisen manga. So I ended up getting volumes 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then Love is War volumes, volume 1 to fill in the 6th spot. So I ended up getting those 6, and then I went home, then I started reading them, and then someone on my TikTok had said, hey, how was their online shipping? And I was like, I don't know, I've never ordered online from them. And again, this is the time where no one really knew about Jujutsu Kaisen and all that whatnot. So I went online and I ordered volumes 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen and then volumes 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 of Love is War. And I ordered it, and about a week or 2 later, it came in. And then I did a video on that, and now I would probably never order from Books A Million.
Is it
where do you
bad?
usually?
Well, I don't want to say no. The shipping when I got it, it was really good, but the problem is that everything is just out of stock.
Oh yeah, well that's everywhere though. That's everywhere.
Yeah, but they're sly about it. They say this will ship out in 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They don't say that it's back ordered. They just say, well, it'll ship eventually. And then it doesn't.
Yeah, I had a comic book sort of did that to me.
Where do you usually buy your manga from now?
So, I mean, I still buy in store mainly just because I don't know. The thrill of seeing manga in person is just I get really excited.
Have you heard about our Lord and Savior, WriteStuffAnime.com?
Oh yeah. The problem with Right Stuff that I have is that
Yeah.
everything that I want is out of stock.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like that's honestly because of the whole pandemic thing at the moment.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
usually they're very good at keeping things in stock.
Do you
Yeah.
want me to tell you something special?
Hmm.
Unless you're really like, it's a big one that, you know, like people have already like pre-ordered for like months.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time you'll probably wait about a week.
And you know, the thing is I have no problem with that. It's just that I'm very financially irresponsible.
Yeah.
So I'll order them and they'll be like, all right, we'll ship it to you when you're ready. And then I'll go to Books A Million and I'll buy like 5 or 6 volumes. And then they'll take it out. They'll be like, hey, we're shipping your manga. And I'm like, I don't have the funds for that, big man.
Right.
You know?
No.
But currently I buy most of my manga from Books A Million, Barnes and
Mhm.
Noble, and then a local comic book store.
Okay.
But
That's
they
cool.
mainly just do like new releases since they just started getting into it. But they're ordering stuff. Like I'll go over there and say, hey man, you should probably order this because I've never seen it in stores. And then they'll order it and I'll go over there and I'll just pick it up.
Yeah.
So
Oh, cool.
So you've been collecting for what, about like a year, give or take, right?
I think coming up on a year.
So
In November it'll be
how
a year.
many volumes have you accumulated within that year?
A lot.
So I've been collecting for about 8 years now, and I have around like 500 volumes.
Oh my god.
No.
Okay, so let me give you a little backstory on why I have so many. Ended up getting a job with I was delivering pizza.
Yeah.
And every night I would make like $100 in tips. You know, and I also live at home, so I don't pay. The only thing I really pay is like my cell phone bill, my car payment, my insurance. You know, just I don't pay rent. I don't pay the light bill. You know, all those things. So after like a week, I'd have like $1,000 just sitting in my pocket. So I'd go out and I'd buy manga, like with most of it.
Oh no.
So on top of that, members of the Manga Book Club would say, hey, I found this series and it's pre-owned. Do you want me to get it for you? And I'd say, is that even a question? Yeah, go ahead and send it. And on top of that, but my Books A Million, they have trade-ins every Sunday and Monday. So I'll go in on Sunday and Monday, and I've built a pretty good relationship with the guy who like takes in all the books.
Yeah.
And so I'll go in, I'll be like, hey, Alan, you get anything good today? And he's like, oh man, I've been waiting for you. I got it held over for you. And he'll just like, he'll put the books out for me and he'll be like, here you go. I mean, I found Monster by Naoki Urasawa. I found the perfect editions, volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
$4 a piece.
Oh, that's a steal.
Oh, damn.
It's a literal steal. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of manga that I have that's all pre-owned.
Yeah.
Like I also found which is Clamp. It's Tsubasa volumes, literally the entire series 1 through 28, all $3 and under. Yeah,
that's not bad. That's pretty good.
So to answer your question, to answer your question, I have, the last time I counted, I'm just going to guesstimate the amount that I've purchased since then. I would probably have about 650 volumes.
That's a lot for a year.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, but I've slowed down a ton. Like I'd come home with, there was one video I posted and I bought 43 volumes of manga. Granted, they were all pre-owned.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't think in a haul that I've done, I've ever spent more than $150.
It's not
but
too
still,
bad.
Yeah, but still, that's a lot, and I would do that probably like 3 times a week.
Oh,
yeah,
but, yeah.
Oh my
but
God.
now, yeah. And so now I go to the bookstore and I look around and I'm like, I already have all the series that I wanted to buy, and then the series that I want to collect or like want to get into, I'm just like, I don't feel like spending the money right now because I just don't have the money to spend on it. And so with that thought process, I've come up with some more ideas for the Manga Book Club. So that's pretty exciting.
Same. I'll go. My rule is don't buy anything you already have, like you're already getting the series and stuff for. So most of the time, whenever I go to like Barnes and Noble or somewhere, I'll buy like a volume of like Juji Ito or like a one shot, like a big fat one shot or something like that.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, okay, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to buy any of this in the future, so I'll just buy this one and go from there.
Yeah.
So
I have the complete opposite reaction. Mine is like I'll go out and I'll look at a series and I'll either say I've heard this is really good, or I've watched it, or I know of it, and then I'll pick up the first 3 volumes of it, and I won't get any of it out, anything else. But then I'll read it and I'll consume it so quickly that I'll go back to like Barnes and Noble and I'll go to their customer service desk and say, "Hey, can you order the rest of the everything?"
Well, my TBR is so huge that it doesn't make sense for me to do that.
God, so let me tell you the idea that I have that we're going to be posting on the Manga Book Club page. Because members in the book club, I had posted in our Discord, I've got 650 volumes, and they're like, awesome, but how many have you read? And I'm like, do we really want to go there? Are you the room, the volume in this room is too loud, you know?
Right.
So the idea that I have is a manga roulette, but with your own collection.
Oh shit.
So basically you would go and all the members would record themselves spinning the wheel, and whatever the wheel lands on, you have to go into your collection and find a manga that starts with that letter that you haven't read yet. And then once you read it, you go on the Manga Book Club page and then you give a review on the manga that you read that's been sitting in your collection.
Oh shit, that would be a lot.
Yeah,
I did a couple of it for me.
Yeah, I did a couple of those last night. I was like, let me just figure out what I haven't read real quick. So I walked around. I spun the wheel on my phone, and I walked around. And one of them was like the letter M, and I found like 3 series that I have that start with the letter M that I just haven't picked up yet. And another one was like P, and I was like, I don't think I have anything with like the letter P in it that I haven't read. And then I found some, and I was like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? So
that's interesting.
Yeah,
I just read when I feel like it. So like I've read like half of my collection, but I do have a problem with not reading when I buy stuff.
I know the percentage of what I've read of my collection.
What is it?
I've read about 85% of my collection.
So another thing, from what you said,
but my collection is. Mike, would you care to say something about my collection?
Jen has 6,000 volumes of manga.
Oh my God! How long have you been collecting, though?
Since I was 14.
There we go. We're fine. See, not so bad. One of our members in the Manga Book Club, you've probably seen him on your For You page if you're on Manga TikTok. His name is the Omnibus Collector.
Oh, yes. I watch him on YouTube all the time.
Yeah, he's on YouTube as well. He ended up following me on TikTok, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Why did you follow me? You know, you in my eyes, you're like famous on manga TikTok.
He's a nice guy.
Really, really nice guy. And so I asked him, I sent him a message, and I was like, hey man, you know, I love your collection, love your content. Would you be interested in joining the Manga Book Club? And he was like, oh yeah, that'd be awesome. So he's a part of the Manga Book Club as well.
Cool.
That's pretty exciting. But awesome. He's been collecting for 20 years, and he says that all the time, you know.
Yeah.
And when people ask, how did you afford all this manga? They're like, dude, I've been collecting for 20 years.
I have a job.
Like, yeah.
Years of dedication.
Yeah.
Years of dedication.
Yep. And so going back real quick on what you said about like the percentage of manga that you read, when I would buy manga, like I would have my very first like set collection. I think I had like 15 volumes, and then I read like 10 of them. And then I was so scared that I was going to run out of manga that I would go and buy more.
Oh yeah.
And that's what would just keep on happening is like, well, I'm just going to read these so fast because it doesn't take me a very long time to read like a volume of manga. So I'll read it, and then I'll keep reading the series, and then I'll say, oh my God, I'm going to run out of stuff to read. And then I'd go out and I'd buy more. And that would be a problem with me. Like, just trying to make sure that I always had something to read.
My problem is I tried to stay up to date on it, and I would sit there and be like, oh, well, this new series comes out, you know, is like a theme that I enjoy. Let me buy this one. And then it was like, okay, now I have like 20 series that are all continuously going.
I have a friend. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That was it.
Oh, I have a friend in the manga book club. His name's Scott, and his thing, like when he goes to buy manga, he won't buy manga unless he's really, really, really into that series for some sort of reason. So
Yeah.
like one of his favorite series is the Monogatari series, and like One Piece and Monster and like Goodnight Poon Poon. Like those are a couple of series that he's really into. But he will go out and he'll buy the entire series of it.
Oh wow.
All at once.
Yeah.
And so but he doesn't like gorge on manga. He doesn't overspend on manga. He goes out and he's like, I really love this series and I have to have it as a collection item.
Yeah.
I have the problem where, there's a bunch of new series coming out. I'll try them and I'll buy like the first volume or two and I'll be like, I don't like these. And then I have to get rid of them.
Oh man, I don't, thankfully, there's only one series that I read that I was like, I don't think I want to continue collecting this. But other than that, all of the manga that I've read so far has been pretty solid.
Yeah, it's either I don't like them or I just lose interest in them usually. And I'm like, oh, well, I got to find you a new home.
Yep.
I've only ever given up on one, and that's because trying to find it on Wikipedia for how it was laid out was a lie. I said, well, it took me this long to find this. I don't want to look anymore. So I ended up selling them to a friend.
What was it?
GTO.
Oh, yeah. GTO early years, GTO, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had all of early years, and I had half of whatever the secondary series is for it, and then half of the regular GTO. And I just told one of my friends that was collecting, I said, I don't care to look for these anymore. If you want to buy these off of me, I said, I will let you buy these off of me.
Oh, man. Yeah.
He's like, bet.
It's completely out of print now, so
yeah,
if you find them, they're worth money now.
Yeah. Let's see, where did my questions go? There they are. So, what exactly is the end goal for the manga book club?
Oh God, I don't think I have an end goal yet. I'm kind of just winging it at the moment. As far as like, I can tell you where I can see the manga book club. Like, so a lot of the members are planning to go to a convention. In February. It's called Katsucon.
Okay.
And we plan on doing panels and things like that. What I want to be known for as like a staple in the manga and anime community. So like if you walk up and you're like, oh my God, that person's a part of the manga book club. I really enjoy your content. If I'm able to provide content for people, that's what I'm really looking forward to. But I think our stuff is geared more towards letting people know that everyone can read manga. You don't have to be like an intense anime fan.
Yeah.
You don't have to be an intense manga fan.
Right.
I think a lot of things that people are like scared of is like, oh, I only have 3 volumes in my collection. I'm not a really big collector. And it's like, that's fine.
Yeah, it isn't. We actually did a whole podcast about this, like the size of your collection. In reality, it doesn't matter. There's like this weird, I don't want to say like weird stigma with like collecting manga and be like, how big is your manga dick? Type of thing.
Yeah.
Mine's bigger than yours.
Yeah.
And in reality, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I've invited people who literally just started collecting manga. Because I've enjoyed watching their content, and I was like, hey, I really enjoy watching your content. I see that you just started getting into manga. How would you feel about joining the manga book club? And you'll have people who have all read manga that could give you recommendations. That the culture that I've created is really welcoming, and you'll feel welcome to be in it, and like you won't feel like, I don't want to say dumb, but you won't feel insignificant based on your manga collection.
So speaking of that, Otakuology put in a thing to join the manga book club.
Did you really?
Yeah. Did you review our form that we filled out?
Was it the Google form?
I don't remember. It was on TikTok.
God. Oh my God. Listen to this. So one of my members at the very early, when I first started, she was like, hey, do you want more people to join? And I was like, yeah, obviously, I want more people to join. And so she was like, I made this Google form. Go ahead and send it out, make a video. And I was like, I mean, I don't really want to, but I guess I will. I mean, how many people really want to join? So I posted it, and that was a video that I was like, hopefully this just doesn't blow up.
Right.
And
Right.
it really blew
Oh,
up.
I clicked on like the link to see like all the members and stuff. And there
Yeah.
was that link to like if you want to join. I was like, oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
Let's fill this out.
Yeah.
Did you review our document that we
I
filled
haven't.
out?
I'm not even gonna lie. I haven't looked at that in months. Probably since it first opened. I think I invited 2 people, and that was like because I just got overwhelmed. I looked
Oh,
at
yeah.
the amount of people that had like requested, and I was like, I'm okay.
Because I saw like the members that you have in your group, and I was like, man, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of content creators.
Yeah.
And I started clicking on them. I was like, I know one of these people. I know Omnibus Collector. I know him.
Yep.
Because I don't know any of those other people.
Oh yeah, no. But they were just essentially my friends that had followed me that I enjoyed watching their content, and I was just like, hey guys, let's all be friends. That was the premise.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's nice to see like a community of people grow and just hang out and talk about things you love.
That I didn't fill out this form, so he just said that you weren't good enough, Mike. Maybe I can get on.
Dang it! But we're a package deal.
It's funny. Well, let me. I want to bring it back real quick. One of my friends, her name is Iris Ann, and I'm not sure if you've ever seen it on TikTok, but she made this sticker. It was like the Besto Friendo warning sticker for your car.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that.
So it massively blew up. She posted a picture of it in our Discord and was like, hey guys, would anyone want one of these? And it's essentially like, your sun visor where it says like warning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a warning sticker, and it's got like Yuji and his besto friendo. I can't remember his name off the top of my head for some reason. But like the really big bulky guy from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I think I might have seen that.
Yeah, and
it sounds familiar.
It's essentially like a warning sticker for your car, and at the end it says, "Thank you so much, my besto friendo." It massively blew up, and she had posted. She was like, "Hey, should I post this?" And I was like, I called her, and I was like, "Iris, if you don't post this, just trust me. My business brain is going insane. You'll make so much money off of this." She posted it, and it got like 1.2 million views.
Oh wow!
Oh my god!
Yeah, she got so big just from that video that she had to get like a printing factory to make the stickers.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
holy crap.
That's cool.
So, and it's the reason I bring that up is because we were texting while she was at Manga in Ontario, California, and she said, "I just want to let you know, Gabe, that the Manga Book Club has been the greatest experience that TikTok has ever given me."
Oh, that's nice.
And I was like, "You're telling me that financial stability right there is not your number one? You're telling me that those big bucks right there, that's not number one? The book club is? Well, thank you."
Right?
Oh,
Oh,
it
shows how the power of friendship works.
The power of family, Don't. Dom Toretto pops in. Did someone say family?
Right. We're just like Zech Bell at this point.
Yeah.
Power of friendship. Go.
So, do you have any more questions, Jen?
I
think I kind of ran out of my questions.
Yeah, I had one, but I was gonna wait because you kept asking questions. It's like, I'll wait.
I'm sorry. I was on a roll.
I don't even really think I don't even really think I finished on the subject because I've got major ADHD. Where I see the manga book club going.
Yeah.
I don't really have a set plan, but exciting news that I haven't told a lot of people. The Manga Book Club is going to be doing a podcast.
Oh, cool.
And that's going to be pretty exciting. It's going to be more of like a meet the member type deal.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, so since we have 50 members,
that's 50 episodes.
It's 50 episodes right there,
Right.
But not all of them get to be on the TikTok page just because schedules don't work out or someone's busy or someone's sick or someone doesn't want to do it or someone's busy, whatever the reason may be.
Yeah.
This will give them a chance to just sit down in their own home and just talk about like what got them into manga, what how long they've been watching it, what got them into collecting, so on and so forth. So that's
cool.
pretty exciting. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah.
Right.
But I think where I see the manga book club being is like, I would like for it to be a business of some sort, you know, like reviewing manga content and getting sponsorships to talk about certain mangas and getting deals and going to conventions, you know, people saying, hey, we'll pay you to come out and bring like 5 of the members to talk on a panel and so on and so forth. But as of right now, it's just a hobby for me, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, I mean, doing the stuff for Otakuology is definitely a pain in the butt trying to get all that stuff under control. That's outside of just potting and everything.
Yeah.
You know, like Mike said earlier, like I'm in Pennsylvania because a little gaming shop. My mom's working up here, and so she goes, "Oh, I told them about it. You know, they want to start a podcast and all this other stuff." And I was like, "Bet I'm going to bring a bunch of business cards up there. Hopefully, they'll hand them out, and we can get our ratings up." And so, you know, I did that trying to to push our numbers a little bit. So hopefully that happens, but I don't know.
Oh wait, so I have another question. So since you do TikTok, have you gotten noticed on the street?
No, not at all.
Not
at all.
I got noticed one time for my YouTube channel, and it was the weirdest experience ever.
So I used to be. I don't want to say I used to be. I've been playing percussion for like 13 years. Like I did like marching percussion, and I used to do videos for Instagram when Instagram came out when I was in high school, and people it would do really really well. And when I would go to world championships in Ohio, I had a couple of people come up and be like, "Oh my God, are you Sinner Snare?" And I would look at him and I'd be like, "Yes, I am." You know,
that is me.
That is me. That is I. But I always enjoyed it because you know I put a lot of work into the content that I create, whatever it may be, and to think that I get to meet someone who really enjoys my content, I get stupid excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, my work is paid off for this one interaction. Thank you.
Right. That's really good. I've met one person when I did YouTube, and then made a lot of really good friends. So we send like Christmas cards to each other and things like that.
I'm telling you, man, internet friends are the best friends. I don't care what anyone says.
Right. Well, I talked to one of the guys that I'm supposed to help. We exchanged numbers and everything that I made from the store up here and everything, and you know, it was weird because like we stood outside. I just met him yesterday, and we stood outside the store and we talked last night for like an hour and a half. And he just looked at me, and it was like one of those weird moments where like you're like, "Are you going to confess your love to me or something?" And he goes, "Why do all the good people live so far away?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
I agree."
So the amount of people that are in the manga book club, they obviously live, you know, all over the place, and I haven't been able to meet a single one of them ever. But so there are probably like 5 people who live in like the Northeast, like Rhode Island area, and like 6 or 7 who live in California, and like 10 or 12, I don't know, I'm just making up numbers at this point, who live in Texas. There are a couple of people who live in Florida, but Florida is so big that like, because I live in Florida, it's like if I wanted to go meet one of them, it's like an 8-hour drive. You know?
Wow.
Do you know if any of the other people in the manga book club have ever like met each other?
Yes, actually. A couple members. One of them's name is Squee or Squay. She's been becoming popular on TikTok. Her, another friend of mine. Her name is Alyssa. It's Usagi Noodle on TikTok. And another one. Her name is yours truly Eileen, or just Eileen. They all live in like the Northeast, and they all got together and they got to like go out to lunch and hang out, and that was really cool. And they text me, they're like, "Hey, just want to let you know I just hung out with them, they were so awesome." And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." You know?
Yeah.
And then
that's really cool.
And then recently at Manga in Ontario, California, one of the conventions that just went on there, there were a couple of members that hung out at the convention as well. Like I said, Iris, who did the stickers and is also an artist. Phenomenal artist, by the way, if you haven't checked out her work. I know I
Mhm.
haven't given you any of her information, but you can look her up, Iris Ann.
Mhm.
Her and another member, she had an artist booth. She's a part of the manga book club. Her name's Colette, or Stupid Crazy Dinosaur.
Mhm.
And then one of the members, her name is Court. She's an original member of the manga book club. Like, she was the first person I told this idea to. She was there. And then another girl, her name was Lauren Useth. She does like a ton of sweat and soap content on TikTok. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, this is the best manga. I mean, she'd been talking about it so much that Kodansha had actually sent her early version of Sweat and Soap Volume 7.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
I was like, man, that's what I want to be at.
Right.
So, but yeah, they all got to meet each other and hang out, and they had some pretty cool interactions. And I was like, oh man, that is so cool, because if I with this group idea, I want to make sure that wherever you go, you'll have a friend, essentially.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I were to go to South Florida, I've had some people that I could hang out with and get to know. If I went to Texas, I'd have some friends who I get to know. New York or Rhode Island or California or Pennsylvania or wherever,
Right.
There'll always be someone that you'll know because of the manga book club, which is pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's awesome too. That was another thing that me and Mike talked about for the future, was actually after we got done with this show, was actually talking to you about other people that you think would be good to actually come on and interview on here too. And so like when we were talking about it, it was like, oh well, there's all these manga book club questions. I said, no, we kind of gotta pull back from that, because this is like Gabe's episode, it can't be the manga book club episode.
But I mean, he is the creator of the manga.
Yeah,
book club.
That is true. That is true. So I mean,
he's like its daddy.
Yeah,
right.
I'm the papa. Yeah. And what's crazy is with the manga book club, all of the videos that you see are all ideas that I've come up with. Like,
right.
I'm not harping on any of the members because it's not their job. It's just a hobby. But like, no one comes up with ideas for the manga. I think there was like one or two that someone came up with, and I was like, thank the Lord you came up with this idea, because I didn't have anything to produce as of recent. So if you scroll through all of the videos, it's like, oh, those are all Gabe's ideas.
Right.
So that was pretty cool. But yeah, no, I'm a big fan of what I've been able to create, and I think I've made a really cool environment for people to be in. So
that's cool. But let's go ahead and wrap this up because I got to go do some stuff. But plug your podcast, not plug your podcast. Plug your social medias and tell everybody where they can find you at. We'll put links down below in the description so people can find you. But please tell everybody where you can find you.
Sure. So if you are looking just for my personal page on TikTok, you can find me at Gabeduhbabe, which is spelled GABEDUH, and then the letters BABE _. And if you're looking for more exclusive manga content, you can find us on TikTok at Manga Book Club.
That's so cool. I'm glad we could be your first podcast. You could podcast with you.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I remember my question finally.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
So it was, my question was, what did you see to reach out and actually ask us to be on the podcast?
Oh, you guys followed me.
Good job, Mike. Good job.
Yeah. There aren't a lot of anime and manga podcasts that I'm aware of. There are only two that I know of besides you guys. You would be number 3. But the first one that I came across was Nani no Anime.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that one.
Oh, they're on TikTok, and I think they're on YouTube as well. But they did something that was with Attack on Titan, and it blew up. Their content is more based around like they're in separate locations, but one has like video and the other has videos, and they flash back and forth whenever they talk.
Yeah.
And it was just really it was really cool content to see. And then the other one is Giant Geek Podcast, where it's like 4 guys sit around a round table and discuss like anime, like hot topics. And
I have heard of them. Yes,
they're awesome. Yeah,
they're cool. But yeah,
So then
because when you reached out to us, I was like, oh, it was weird because nobody like usually we have to reach out to people, and then but we haven't had anybody reach out to us.
Yeah, I've come to discover that if I want something to happen, I just got to do it myself.
Very true.
Yeah,
because we all have adult lives. You know what I mean? Like you guys might be busy, and you're like, oh, hey, we should get Gabe on the podcast, but I'll do it later. And I might be sitting in my room just like watching TikToks, and I'm like, oh, hey, they just follow me. Let me see if I could be on their podcast.
Right. No. I mean, it's great because that's sometimes how I feel like it happens. I'll sit there we have like a episode with an artist friend that made that I had for a little while, and Mike didn't know anything about her, and I was like, hey, do you do interviews? And that's kind of my opening bit with a lot of people. Do you do interviews? Just trying to figure that out because unless you ask, you never know.
True. Oh yeah, there's this whole thing on TikTok right now, and it's called like the Rejection Theory or something like that.
Oh.
And you essentially have to go and ask 100 people questions, and you have to get rejected 100 times, and then it gets you to be better with rejection overall. But you'll be surprised on how often people don't get rejected for things as long as you just ask. Like there's this kid that I watch, and he wanted to see the inside of the cockpit.
Yeah.
So he walked in and he was like, hey, do you have some time before like the flight takes off? He's like, yeah, I've already done all my checks. Come on in. And he just got to sit in the cockpit and like turn on all the controls and check everything. And he was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool. But we are glad to have you on.
Absolutely. I enjoyed this. So
this was a lot of fun to talk to you. We haven't had a TikTok creator on yet.
Oh man, listen, I know a lot of TikTok creators.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hopefully Mike will be good enough to get on the book.
Oh, and listen. If you guys ever need like content ideas, I'm your guy. I always tell people. I actually just made a new friend. Her name is Mitch Dunn Killed It, and she's a dancer for like TikTok. But she does like, well, what would it be like if an anime character was in the club?
Right.
Like that's her spiel. And so we had just talked, and you know what? I completely forgot where I was going with this.
Well, we are always looking for new topics or things to talk about, which is cool. If you have an idea, shoot it past us. We can even have you on the show to talk about said idea if you want.
Oh yeah, I remember what it was, and when we were talking, I told her. She was like, "Oh, so what do you do?" And I was like, "Oh, like if you ever need like content ideas, I'm actually a creative director." And she was like, "Oh my God, do you live in LA? Are you like a film producer?" And I was like, "No, I just tell myself that." Because I just come up with ideas. So, I actually own a food truck business. Like that's what I do for work.
Yeah.
And for a while I would just tell people that I'm an event coordinator. And then I was like, I've always wanted to do like public relations. So I was like, I'm just going to tell people I'm the PR manager. And so then I would just be a PR manager. And so now I tell people like I'm the creative director of stuff. And then I'll give them ideas, and they'll say, "Oh my God, that was so good!" And I'm like, "Thanks."
Right.
If you believe it hard enough, it'll eventually come to fruition.
This
Most
is true.
definitely.
This is very true.
Hard work does pay off.
You got that right.
Yeah. But thanks for coming on. This is a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll pimp out your stuff. You should be on in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Like we'll let you know when your episode comes out.
Yeah, right. You can always just tag me on TikTok or whatever.
Yeah, we'll send it to you. We'll tag you all up in it and stuff, and we'll make sure to tag the Manga Book Club to help promote that for you as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right.
I'll probably also end up posting something once the video is live, and I'll post it on the Manga Book Club page.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That's common courtey.
He's gonna make a TikTok video with us, Mike.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, you might as well just already be members,
Right.
All right. Well, thanks a lot.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, guys.